Peace be with you. My name is Allan Keislar, and I'm always praying and thinking and planning and working to develop self-sufficient villages where we grow our own food, where all the members of the community work together as a family in love, in truth, in justice, and in morality. So I have been off Facebook for some time, and I've been having a wonderful spiritual retreat. And I guess the only thing I will say about my retreat is that I was very, very blessed to have the association of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and he told me that I should not call myself a Muslim because it's causing so many problems, because people who think they are Muslims, they feel that I have to be the kind of Muslim that they are, what they understand it means to be a Muslim. But that is not what I understand it means to be a Muslim. So that's all I want to say about that. Please do not consider me a Muslim. Do not think I should be or act the way that you think a Muslim should be or act, because the Prophet himself has told me not to call myself a Muslim anymore. So I don't consider myself a Muslim. I am trying to be what the Holy Prophet says is a Muslim, which is to be loving, to be truthful, to be just, and to be moral. But other than that, I don't consider myself a Muslim anymore. So please don't you consider me a Muslim either, period. Okay, and please let's discuss how we can develop self-sufficient villages where we grow our own food and where we don't depend on anything from outside. All right, let's see if we have any questions or comments here. Felix Friday says hi. Hi, Felix. Sanawan says Assalamu alaikum. Peace be to you also. Muhammad Amsa says, missed you too. Much love you. Thank you very much. Sanawan says, long time. Yes, it has been a while. Saifullah Gondal says, blessings. Sanawan, we miss you a lot, maybe you mean. Or long. This Friday, how are you doing? I'm doing very well. I'm very, very happy. I had this wonderful message yesterday, and I feel very, very satisfied that I have got a new direction in my life, which is what I went on the retreat for. I knew something was going to get something straightened out, and I did. It became very, very clear. It was building up over the days, but it became very clear, as I just mentioned, that I should not consider myself a Muslim anymore because everyone misunderstands, almost everyone misunderstands what that means to be a Muslim. And I'm not, I never have been that kind of Muslim that most people think it means to be a Muslim. So I'm very happy to get that cleared up. My health is okay, and my mood is very, very good. Sanawan, how was it? The retreat, I guess you mean. It was very, very good. Thank you for your good question. Khurram Khan says, good to see you back. Nice to be back. Sanawan in front of us. Nice to be here. Muhammad Hamza says, I am Ahl Sunnat, but I have started loving Allah Tashi because they love family of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Well, this is the problem. When you become a Muslim, then you think, oh, am I a Sunni or am I a Shia? Am I a Delvi or a Brelvi? Or this? So I don't consider myself a Muslim anymore. I don't have to worry about all of these things. But it's definitely good to love the family of the Prophet, of all the prophets. We recite the prayer for peace on his family as for the Holy Prophet Abraham and his family. That is the Durud Sharif Ibrahimi. So we should also love anyone who loves the Holy Family of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and anyone who loves the Holy Family of the, and family means descendants, but also followers of the Holy Prophet Ibrahim. Okay, Ambreen and Anjum says, I need your prayers, please, extremely needed. Well, I am praying that you will become very serious and sincere, and will pray and think about it and plan and discuss with your friends and family how to develop self-sufficient villages where everyone works together in love and trust as a family. That's what I'm praying for everyone. And whatever other prayers you need, I pray that Allah will give you what is good for you. Certainly, we all need prayers. I'm also extremely in need of prayer, so please pray for me. But the main thing I am praying is to be self-sufficient in a village life, village community where we can grow our own food and where we don't need anything from outside. Sanawan, is it possible to be self-sufficient in this era? It's not only possible, but it's absolutely necessary. I can say I've been told a little bit more, or I've come to understand a little bit more about 2023. This is shocking, disturbing, but I'm being told more and more, because originally I was just told 2, 3. I didn't know what it meant, didn't even realize it was referring to a year, but it was referring to 2023. And by the year, or in the year 2023, something is going to happen, I believe. I'm quite convinced. And before I didn't know what it was, but now it's becoming clear. There will be something like a pole shift or a sun, some unusual activity of the sun, and the entire, not only electric grid, but electronics will be fried by a solar flare or solar flash or by extreme solar radiation or something like that. This is what I believe. And the reason why I'm getting more convinced now is I've been studying this a little bit, and I found out, which I didn't really know all these details before, but just in the last few weeks I've been finding out more, that there was a tradition, you can say, or there was a habit of the sun to and of the Earth's poles to shift. And about every 300,000 years, the north and south poles of the Earth, that you can study the geology and you can see, you can trace when the poles shifted from studying geology. So scientists, geologists have determined that about every 300,000 years the poles shift. The north and south poles reverse. This is my understanding. I may be wrong, but this is the understanding I've gotten from studying this. So in the past 700,000 years and more, there has not been a polar shift, although previously it was usually every 300,000 years or so. So this is quite astonishing that it has been such a long time since the poles shifted, which is a regular occurrence. Therefore, we're way, way, way overdue for a pole shift. And when there's a pole shift, the whole electromagnetic, what we can say, covering or protection that the Earth's magnetic field gives to the Earth from solar and extraterrestrial radiation, that is diminished when that pole shift happens. So many people, many saintly people, many people with vision or seers or psychics, they thought that in 2012 there would be a pole shift. There would be some major event. It didn't happen. Many people were surprised or disappointed even because they were so sure it was going to happen then. But the sun goes through solar cycles of every 11 years of sunspots. So there are solar minimums and solar maximums of the solar activity. So these go through 11-year cycles. So the last time there was a solar minimum, I think is when these things happen, was in 2012. So 11 years from 2012 is 2023. So I believe, I may be wrong, but this is my conviction now. This is what I'm becoming more and more convinced of. In 2023, there will be a either a pole shift or some sort of solar activity which will have an impact on our electromagnetic equipment. And transistors and other equipment will be fried, we can say. So and because our civilization depends so much upon electronics for functioning, there will be a necessity at that time to have self-sufficient village communities where we don't depend on any electronics, where we don't depend on electricity, where we have all of our energy coming from animals, from fire. So we will not be able to live otherwise than by having self-sufficient village communities where we grow our own food. There may be tremendous chaos and trouble in big cities where everything depends on electricity. So you say it's not, is it possible to be self-sufficient in this era? Maybe it's not for most people, but we have to do it because I believe in 2023 we will be forced to have self-sufficient village communities. So it's a good question you have, but we have to start praying about it. That's the first thing. We must pray very sincerely for understanding, for guidance from God to understand what to do. And we must think about it, meditate about it, and we must discuss with our family, with our friends, and then we must make some plans to what will we do if the entire electric grid and electronic equipment becomes unusable? How will we live? So we need to make plans and we work very hard. Some people say, oh, that's only 2 years. What can we do in 2 years? How can we do all this? Well, we should be happy that we have 2 years warning. That's the way I see it. So is it possible? Well, it may or may not be possible in your estimation, but I think we have to do it. Khurram Khan says, will you be regular from now on? I don't know. I have made no decision about whether I'm going to go back to regular chats or not. I just was given the guidance this morning that I should do a chat this morning. So Muhammad Hamza says, can we say bad to Sahabe Muawiyah as people says that he helped Yazid? See, I don't want to get into these issues now. Then there will be fights between Yazid and that. You can look in my past. I have talked about this in the past. But I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Amreen Anjum says, what should do for acceptance of some dua? Don't worry about it, whether your dua is accepted or not. Just do what you understand God wants you to do. And don't pray for things that you yourself don't even know whether it's good for you or not. Most people pray for things that they want, but they don't really know whether those things are good for them or not. So don't pray for what you want. Just pray for what's good for you. That's the thing. I'm not telling you only. This is what I've said for many years to anyone who asks for prayers. This is what I generally say. But one thing I am praying for now is that we will all be given the guidance and understanding and determination to work for developing self-sufficient village farming communities. Ambreen Anjum, please guide me. Well, you want guidance on what to do to enforce your will upon Allah. I want my prayer accepted. What can I do? Please guide me. So I'm telling you, don't try to get your prayers accepted. You don't know whether what you're praying for is really good for you or not. So don't do it. That's all I can advise you on. Okay, Sohail Niazi says, आपकी एक पुरानी इंटरव्यू देखने मिली. आपको नबी अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने अपना दीदार करवाया और आपसे गुफ्तगू भी की. Well, this is a long comment. आपकी किस्मत पर जितना भी रशक किया कई काम के, मैं अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मुसलमान हूँ। हकीकत में आपको मालूम नहीं है मुसलमान मुसलमान होना का मतलब क्या है। ये हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने मुझे बार बार है और अभी भी बता रहे हैं। इन लोगों को मालूम नहीं है जो अपने आप को मुसलमान सोचते हैं, उनको मालूम नहीं है कि मुसलमान बनने का मतलब क्या है, मुसलमान का मतलब क्या है, उनको मालूम नहीं। तो मुझे माफ़ करना, लेकिन वो मुझे अभी ही बता रहे हैं सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। एक सोचता है कि वो मुसलमान है, उसको मालूम नहीं कि मुसलमान होने का मतलब क्या। अच्छा, लेकिन ये मेरी कमी है और मेरी गुनाह है कि मैं अपनी आप को इस काहिल न कर सका कि रहमतुल आलमीन सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मुझ पर नाचीज़ खाकसार को अपना दीदार करवाएं। आप खुश किस्मत हैं, आपकी किस्मत पर रशक रशक अता है। अच्छा, रिज सदफ कह रहे अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर। वालेकुम सलाम। Azam Abbasi says, Zulfikar Acha. Muhammad Hamza says, many people say that we cannot ask help from Prophet Muhammad because they says that after death of Prophet Muhammad there was no rain in Medina. And Sahabi said that when this is a long comment. Let's see. That when Prophet Muhammad was in us, we asked help from him, but now he is not in us, so now we will ask help from Allah. So these people say this thing and say that after death of Prophet Muhammad, we cannot ask help from him. And if anyone asks, he will no more a Muslim. I am very confused. Please guide. People are so confused. People who think they are Muslims, people who call themselves Muslims, they have no idea of what is Islam. Some people say after death of Prophet Muhammad we cannot ask help from him. Some people say we can, and then they fight and even kill each other because of these different opinions. So therefore, Holy Prophet Muhammad has told me, don't get into these things. You're not a Muslim. Don't talk about Islam. Just say, I don't know all these things. I don't understand these things. That's not my business. My business is to help everyone make self-sufficient villages. I cannot get into all of these questions, and you should not really worry about them either. But definitely, I know we can get help from Holy Prophet Muhammad because I am getting it. So those people are wrong. I mean, but if I say it, then they'll get angry at me, and then they'll cause problems, so I cannot say those things. Horrible, horrible, horrible what has happened in Islam. People who think they're Muslims, they have forgotten what Islam is. Islam means to be loving and kind and truthful, and they are fighting with each other over whether Holy Prophet can help us now or not. So better, I don't know what to say. Asad Raza, mashallah, your true faith in God and love for his beloved SM reminds me of Allama Iqbal's couplet that states somewhat, Agar hai kufr bhi musalmani na ho to Muslim bhi kafir ho zandiq. Okay. All right. I don't understand every word there, but Muhammad Hamza says, do you believe in miracle of Wales? Miracle of Wales? I don't know what is this miracle of Wales. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Sanuan, so what we need to do? We need to pray. We need to meet with our friends and relatives and discuss. And then we need to make plans. And then we need to work very hard and intelligently for establishing self-sufficient villages everywhere. Sherlyn Shah says, Salam, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being so concerned about mankind. And thank you for praying for all of us. Allah's mercy upon all. Thank you. Sanawan, sir, what should we do? I just answered that. Muhammad Hamza, many people say that if miracles were true for whales, then why don't Sahabis had them, and why they were no able to fly or to walk on water, and walis, and say our walis more than Sahabis? Uh, Anyway, I'm not going to get into all these arguments between different types of Muslims who talk about Sahabis and Walis and everything. Sorry, Holy Prophet has warned me. It really was a warning he was giving me. He said, if you say you are a Muslim, then you will get entangled in all sorts of problems. So better, you never were that sort of Muslim that gets worries about all of these things. You were never a Muslim anyway, but people thought you were a Muslim because I told you, Holy Prophet told me you're a Muslim, but he didn't mean what people think. People think what it means to be a Muslim. That's not what the Holy Prophet meant when he told me that I'm a Muslim. He just meant I'm a Muslim means I'm sincerely trying to be kind and loving, truthful, just, and moral. That's what he meant. He never meant I was a Muslim. Then we have to argue about walis and sahabis and everything. So he told me, don't worry about that. Don't get involved in that. Just tell them you're not a Muslim. So I'm sorry. I can't answer your question. I don't know. Zahir Khan, and I have no concern about that. So please stop asking those questions, those kinds of questions. Just ask me how we can develop self-sufficient villages. Zahir Khan says, Assalamu alaikum. You are so nice, the man, nicely speaking and explained very well. Wish you all the best. Love you. Thank you. Sanawan says, I think we should focus on spiritual enhancement. Yes, we definitely should focus on spiritual enhancement. We must pray. But the specific spiritual enhancement and prayers that we need now for the sake of humanity, not for our own sake, maybe spiritual, but even for our own sake. But now we need to focus on developing self-sufficient villages where we can grow our own food without any dependence on outside things, including electricity or petrol or anything. Just like people used to live, and even some places today, people still live that way. When I was a child, we had no electricity in Raiwind, where I lived as a child. So it's possible to live without electricity or petrol. You can just grow your own food by plowing with oxen, and the animals can raise up the water from underground from a well. You don't need a tube well to pump up water. The animals can bring up underground. Even if it's very deep, I've seen it myself in the town of Mirti in Tarparkar. I was there, and they were bringing up water from deep underground by camels, going around in circles, and they were hoisting up the water from way underground. So we should focus on our spiritual enhancement, certainly, but along with spiritual enhancement, we must focus now on developing self-sufficient villages. Always we must focus on spiritual enhancement. That is actually the purpose of human life, is spiritual development. But now we also have this urgent need to develop self-sufficient villages, because within 2 years or so, we may be forced to. We may not be able to live otherwise if all the electricity and all the electronics are non-functional. Okay, Dr. Ijaz Ali Jagirani Baloch says, Sir, kindly pray for my son. He has high myopia in right eye. Now he developed cataract. Doctor, sir, I must tell you, it is my vow, I will never pray for anything else, because I don't know if it's good or not. Maybe it's good for your son that he has high myopia in his right eye and has developed a cataract. We don't know. Maybe that's very good that that has happened to him. So I cannot pray that will go away. I will pray that Allah will give him, God will give him whatever is best for him. But now I am praying for everyone, even your son who has difficulty with his eyesight. I will pray that he will also become very developed and concerned. I don't know how old he is, but he can pray at least. If you can speak to him, you can ask him to pray that we can all develop self-sufficient village communities where we can grow our own food. That is the only thing I'm focusing on and praying for now. So please forgive me. Even before this, I could not pray for things like you're asking because I don't know what's good for him. I don't. So how can I pray for it? Sanawan, it's a big threat. We should be vigilant. I'm not sure what you mean, but maybe you're talking about the solar flash or the pole shift or something. You can clarify because I forgot what it was that you were talking about there. Okay, so Muhammad Hamza says, "Oh, Muhammad, please, no, please help me, please. Put your nazar on me. Give me your immense love and give us the profound love of your family. Please dress us with your love. We don't know how to love. Oh, Muhammad. Oh, comforter. Oh, comforter. Oh, Muhammad, don't leave us. Forgive our sins." That's a good prayer, yes. Sanawan says, "Cox, nowadays we are addicted to lifestyles." Yes, cuz I think you mean. Yes, we are. We have become addicted to very easy lifestyles. And if our whole easy lifestyle is gone because of a solar flash or a pole shift and the electronics are all unusable, then it will be a huge problem for us. So we're addicted to these easy lifestyles. So even while we're living in a city, if we can't immediately move out, we should definitely pray and discuss, make some plans, and then work hard to establish a village community nearby our city. Not too near, but within distance so we can travel comfortably. So we should develop village communities where we can grow our own food without anything outside needed. Sanawan says, "Sir, about 2023 time I am asking. I don't know anything about the time. All I know is about that year, I was told. 2023 is the year in which, or by which, better by which, we should have established at least one village in every district in Pakistan, I was specifically told, but all over the world, wherever people are concerned about this and are aware of this issue, they will develop villages where they can grow their own food, where we can grow our own food without depending on anything from outside." Sanawan, "Sir, how can we overcome?" Sanawan, "Which kind of plans?" Plans to develop self-sufficient village communities where we grow our own food. Sanawan, "I don't have garden." Well then, find a place nearby. I don't know, you may live in a city if you don't have a garden. If you live in the country, you can start a garden. You have a place. But if you don't, if you live in a city, then find some place outside the city, not too far away, where you and your friends or family or anybody else who you can convince to join you in this. It's hard for one person to do it by themselves, but try to find some other friends and family members or who will accept this idea about the importance of having a self-sufficient village community developed and work together very hard to develop a place where you can live, not now, but gradually over the next year or two. We have a couple of years left, maybe, I hope, to develop a community where you can have your own garden and grow your own food. Not only garden, but a whole village community. You must have a blacksmith who will help make the tools for farming. You must have a whole community that can live self-sufficiently. So it's a big job. It's not easy, but we must begin now. We should be thankful that we have a couple of years to do this. It didn't happen today. All the electricity suddenly went down. All the electronics suddenly were fried. So we should be thankful that we have a couple of years, and we should work very, very hard for that. Muhammad Hamza, did Prophet Muhammad said that you are not a Muslim? Yes. Literally, he said, let me see, I actually have it written right here. He said that, well, first he said, first time he appeared to me was in 1995, and he said to me, because everyone was telling me, I was in Pakistan, "Oh, you must become a Muslim. Why don't you become a Muslim? If you don't become a Muslim, you'll go to hell." Literally, people were telling me that. I was so distressed. And then he appeared to me. Literally, I saw his beautiful form. And he said, "Don't worry, I am pleased with you. Just go on doing what you are doing." So I was not a Muslim. I had no interest in Islam. I didn't like Islam very much because the Islam that I was being presented with was not very pleasant. So he told me, he never told me to become a Muslim at that time. So then, about in 2012, so almost, what was that, like 15 or 16 years, 17 years later, I did not see him, but he spoke to me very clearly, and he said, Muslims were still saying, why don't you become a Muslim? So he said to me, you are already a Muslim. But he didn't ask me to say namaz. He didn't ask me to go to a mosque. He didn't ask me even to read the Holy Quran. He just said, you're a Muslim already. Why are they telling you to become a Muslim? And then, these are all the times when he appeared to me and spoke to me very clearly about this. And then, 5 years later, that was 2017, some Muslim friends were insisting that if I'm a Muslim, I have to say namaz, and I should say 5 times every day. So I accepted that, and I began doing it. They taught me everything, and so I started praying 5 times every day. But then, interestingly, after about a month and a half of that, the Holy Prophet spoke to me again, and he said, anyone who faithfully follows the Sharia of any religion is a Muslim. Now, understand that. Anyone of any religion who follows faithfully the Sharia of their religion is a Muslim. That's what he said. So, in other words, I mean, he didn't say this, but I understood by this that he was saying I should not think of myself as that sort of Muslim who must pray 5 times every day. In fact, he specifically told me, because at that time I had already started it some years earlier, I was praying prayers from different religious traditions together. So he told me to continue that more than many times, because I was sometimes confused or discouraged, but he would tell me, no, do that. Pray according to prayers of different religious traditions. So I continued that for many years. And then in 2019, again, because people were always asking me, okay, if you're a Muslim now, you must have a Muslim name. Why don't you have a Muslim name? Why don't you use a Muslim name? Why you use a Christian name if you're a Muslim? So then he gave me the name Ali Muhammad Kartarpuri. And I began using it. In fact, when I had interviews then on the internet, they put my name, Ali Muhammad Kartarpuri. But then, it was within a few weeks after that, he told me, no, I've given you this name, but I don't want you to use it. You just can. He said you should use, and that time he explained, because your work is only for Muslims. Your work is for people of all religions. And if you have a Muslim name and you use a Muslim name, then people of other Christians, especially Jews, they won't listen to you. They'll immediately turn you off. They won't even listen if they think you're a Muslim, you have a Muslim. So he told me to use the Muslim name. Very interesting. And now, this is what he said, and I wrote it down, and I am going to answer your question by quoting what he said. Oops, let me get this on the screen here. Okay, he said this. Now please consider all these incidents when he spoke to me about this issue. Can't you understand? He asked me, can't you understand? I'm asking you, can't you understand? Why did I ask you not to use a Muslim name? He asked me, why did I ask you not to use a Muslim name? What did I mean when I told you you are already a Muslim? Clearly, I did not mean what most Muslims think. But because of their misunderstanding, this is only causing you more problems. So now I am telling you, stop calling yourself a Muslim. Just to make it clear to my foolish so-called followers, I want you to stop reciting namaz at all or even reading the Quran publicly. They, of course, will not be able to understand this at all, but at least they will stop making the offense of trying to control you in the name of God willing. So he said, stop calling yourself a Muslim. That's what he told me. He didn't say I was a Muslim or wasn't a Muslim. He said, stop calling yourself a Muslim. Why? Because people who think they are Muslims, people who think they understand what it means to be a Muslim, they would cause me so many problems, as they have been all along. Before I said I was a Muslim, after I said I was a Muslim, Muslims misunderstood what it means to be a Muslim, and they were causing me problems. So now he's telling me, just to avoid all of these problems, stop calling yourself a Muslim. So he didn't say that I am not a Muslim. He said, stop calling myself a Muslim. But he did indicate that what people think is a Muslim. He never told me to be a Muslim. He never told me I was a Muslim in the definition of Muslim that most Muslims think of when they think of Muslim. That's not what he said. So I never was a Muslim in that sense, except maybe you can say for a month and a half when I thought I must pray 5 times a day and I was doing it. Otherwise, he never told me to be that kind of Muslim, or that I was. So actually, I never have been a Muslim in that sense, really. Muhammad Hamza says, sir, know what we will do, no. You mean now what we will do now, or what? Know what we will do, no. I think there's some typing mistake there. Muhammad Hamza says, if you are not a Muslim, that how can we say that we are Muslims? We are animals. Well, you said it. Maybe you're an animal, maybe you're not. But he told me, and I quote again, I'm reading, stop calling yourself a Muslim. That's what he told me. So maybe you should stop calling yourself. We don't know what it means to be a Muslim. So it's, but he's told me not to call myself a Muslim anymore because people misunderstand it. Rahila Abbasi says, hi, nice to see you, Babaji. How are you doing? Stay blessed. I am very happy to have gotten this mess cleared up, this confusion about what it means to be a Muslim and calling myself a Muslim. He's told me, don't call yourself a Muslim. So I'm very happy with this all cleared up now. Sanawan, yes, sir, it's a big job. Cox, I am super allergic from plants, but inshallah we'll do smart working. Okay, I think there's again some mistake there. Cox, oh, you mean cuz, I think. Sanawan, keep praying for me. I want to spend time in Konya. You know, my wife and I have also talked many times about going to Konya. She wants to go to Turkey, and so I will pray for you that God will give you what is good for you. If it's good for you to go to Konya, then I pray that He will. If maybe it's not good for you, I don't know. But anyway, may He give you what is good for you. Mahruk Bodia says, sir, what should we make dua for? Because we can never know. Apparently we know health, children, peace, contentment is better for us. Then why shouldn't we pray for it? These are not materialistic things. Okay, you pray for whatever you want. I never told anyone. I only said I cannot pray for you for something that I don't know whether it's good for you or not. Health may or may not be good. Usually, of course, it's good to have good health, and we can serve God well. But sometimes it's very good to have bad health. Because of illness, many people have turned to God who were not interested in God. They became very sick and almost died, and they turned to God, and their whole life became much better because of ill health. So if I prevent somebody from having ill health and turning to God, why should I pray for that? I can't pray for somebody who's sick to become well if his illness is going to be the cause of or he or she, or if their illness is going to become the cause of their turning to God better. So that's why but you can pray for whatever you want, but I can't pray for that. That's my weakness perhaps, but I don't pray for anything that I don't know for sure is good for somebody. So peace and contentment, it may not be good for somebody. If somebody's in great distress and anxiety, no peace or contentment, they may turn to God because of that. Usually when people are peaceful and content, they forget about God, and when they're in anxiety, they turn to God. So how can I pray that somebody be peaceful and content if that will be bad for their spiritual life? So please forgive me. those things may or may not be materialistic, but they may not be good for us to have peace and contentment and health and everything. Okay, anyway, this may be my weakness. I may be wrong because many saints, they do pray for things, but I don't do it myself. That is just my weakness maybe, but I don't. I'm praying that everyone will become very intelligent to how and work very hard to develop self-sufficient communities. That is very, very important now. I have been told that this is what we should be doing now. This is what we should be praying for. And this is what we should be working for. Sanawan, you should say, Allahumma atayna ho dunya wa fil akhirah. Okay. Javed Iqbal says, Sir, we have to educate farmers to preserve their own seeds for growing crops, less depend upon hybrid seed. Yes, very good point. Then to arrange for irrigation, water arrangements, organic pesticides, and use of farmyard manure. Hand-operated spinning, ginning, and knitting machines for clothes, and many more things for living. Yes, very, very good point. There's so many things. Hand-operating, spinning, ginning, and knitting machines, weaving machine, yes. And we do definitely need water arrangements without electric power. We do definitely, yes, we use farmyard manure rather than other things. And yes, definitely we do want to educate farmers to preserve their own seeds. Very, very good point. Thank you for thinking about this and praying for guidance. Ayub Dar says, Sir, nice clarification. Thank you. Rahila Abbasi says, here those who believe in meeting of Allah's friends after death, they are declared kafir and mushrik. So we also face the problems by saying ourselves a Muslim because some others don't accept us. Yes, such a big problem. People who think they are Muslims and think they understand what it means a Muslim to be, what they think they understand what it means to be a Muslim. They think they understand what Islam is, and then they have so many ideas, wrong ideas, and then they start declaring everyone kafirs who doesn't believe they do. Better just to stay away from it all. So I've been saved from that now by the Holy Prophet telling me, don't call yourself a Muslim. Sanawan says, Khush rahein, endearing Babaji, Allah aapko na aapki wife ko konya lekar jaiye. Ameen. Well, if it's good for us. So we don't know. But yes, we do have that desire. Okay, do we have zikr? No. Anyway, I haven't. It's part of this. He's telling me, don't call yourself a Muslim. Another reason is because when I do zikr of different faiths. I do Allahu, I do Toini, I do Adonai, I do Ram, and I do Ikomkar. I was doing that zikr. And so many so-called Muslims were protesting, no, you should only say Allah, don't say these other things. How can you say Ram especially? How can you say Ikomkar? Why? You must say only Allah, only Arabic names of God. So I am doing zikr myself, but I'm not doing this. If you want to do zikr with me, you can look at my old videos and do those, but I'm not going to be doing this anymore. I'm just not. I'm going away from all of that now. Okay, that's long enough. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another chat soon or not, but thank you all for good questions, having a nice chat today. And you can look at my Facebook post that I posted earlier, in which this whole message that the Holy Prophet gave me is written about why he told me I should not call myself a Muslim anymore, and why he never really meant that I was a Muslim like most Muslims think it means to be a Muslim. Okay, thank you all very much. Peace be with you. May God protect us all.